welcome back to the Soda Pop Podcast. As always, Soda stands for School of the Arts, and Pop, it just sounds kind of nice next to it. Kinda. And today...
Who are you?
Oh, yeah, who am I? I'm Brandon Underwood, and
I'm Dottie Tanner.
And today, finally, we're going to be talking about horror stories from the arts. Horror stories from the arts. And I felt like the voice would be fun.
Yeah, I liked it. You kind of sounded like a pirate.
I think they're scary. Pirates are scary.
Yeah, that is scary.
Arr! Horror from the arts.
Now, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. We've experienced an arts horror story today.
We've experienced so many arts horror stories today. It's been one thing after another. It's, what we're looking at right now, the first two episodes of the podcast, which are our intro episode and an episode that we did featuring Cable Fest. Shout out Cable Fest. Owen and Jilly, they were amazing guests. And we may have lost the audio for it.
Only the audio portion of the podcast.
The audio portion of the podcast. Might I mention, the most important part of any podcast, the audio podcast, the audio part. But, so we're looking at maybe re-recording those, possibly just sticking through it and seeing what the camera audio sounds like.
Yeah, we might look at it and then we will probably decide to re-record them, to be honest.
It's horrible.
But, yeah.
Because we've just already spent hours of work. I've already past Brandon has already semi-edited them.
Right.
And we thought we were in a good place. We're like, oh, we're getting so ready. Everything's going so swimmingly.
We're so ahead.
And then here we go today. We're getting ready to record this episode. I hand Dottie the SD card that we use for the audio and, the little storage device. And I was like, here, take this, format it. But basically just meaning clear everything off of it so we can use it to record today. And she does it. And then I realized I've been editing off the SD card, which basically means that footage was only on that card and not on my computer. And so as soon as that thing went into that camera and was formatted, we lost everything. And all of the audio. Yeah. We still have the video. But what good does it do us? We
also have the counter option of dubbing over the whole thing.
Yes.
That's not
gonna sound good, that's going to be miserable. Try and do my voice. That was pretty good. Want me to do yours?
Brandon, every time that you ask me to do something like this, you then say something that's mean.
I'm not going to do anything mean.
Please don't be mean.
Okay. Hi, I'm Dottie. I'm Dottie. I'm Dottie Tanner.
Am I also an ant in this scenario?
Mini Dottie Tanner. Mini Dottie. I almost slipped into Michael Jackson there.
I love that.
Slipped a little into it.
Brandon, it's a little dark. I think we need to...
It is a little dark. We wanted to be a little somber, be a little honest with you guys, be a little real that we're experiencing these horror stories. But now it's time to get out of the horror.
Beautiful. Okay. So I guess we're just gonna go back and forth with some horror stories.
Art school horror stories.
Yes. So I guess I'll start. This one didn't happen to me specifically like in art school, but it is related to the arts, and it was in school. So
wow.
It kind of
sounds like an art horror story.
Yes, it does. So
I'm gonna do that every single time we have to say something. Go ahead.
Okay. So I graduated from Dutchler High School in 2021, and
old.
I'm so tired of this.
Old.
I don't deserve this. So I graduated, and after I graduated, I kind of thought that I wasn't gonna do like theater stuff anymore, and then I actually went to go see a local production of Jekyll and Hyde. And it was so good that it made me want to do theater again.
Wow.
Thank you, Tanner Rhodes, for that, because it was amazing. It was literally one of the most beautiful productions I've ever seen. Anyways.
Beautiful.
So I decided that I was going to go and I was going to try to see if I could help with the musicals at my old high school, because it was the theater program that I kind of like was brought up with, is the theater program I cared about. So I started directing. I started being like an assistant director there. And my first year of assistant directing, we did Matilda Jr., the musical.
Right.
Because Deschler can only do musicals because they don't have a theater teacher. They have a choir teacher. So
okay.
We're doing Matilda Jr. And as is common in high schools, we're kind of struggling to find men, like guys, to fulfill roles.
If you don't know that, in like theatrical stuff, a lot of times there's like a surplus
of women,
and then like a very much shortage of men.
Yes. And for some reason, people who write plays tend to write like a lot of men into their plays, which is kind of frustrating, but it's okay.
And I think that's a larger problem indicative of societal things. Dottie, could you dive right into that?
Yeah, let's go ahead. So we're doing Matilda Jr. We have a kid who is playing Mr. Wormwood, and he's doing great. He wants to go into theater, or he wants to go into like acting when he gets older. He's really excited. He's a senior. We're like super duper pumped about it. And I'm in charge of blocking all of the scenes with the Wormwood family. So any scene in the Wormwood house, or that is specifically related to like Mr. or Mrs. Wormwood or Michael Wormwood, which is Matilda's brother.
Spoilers for Matilda. I mean, if you haven't seen it at this point,
yeah, you're a little behind.
Yeah, you're way behind. Yep. But spoilers for Matilda, Mr. Wormwood, pretty significant character in it. Pretty kind of important. Very significant character.
He's like one of the main antagonists of the story. Now, the reason that we're bringing up specifically that Mr. Wormwood is not the greatest is because 3 days before we're supposed to do this show. Now, like, I'm not talking like 3 days before this is about to be shown to people. Like,
right. Live audience.
Right. Live audience. The kid who is playing Mr. Wormwood goes to his teacher, who is our choir teacher, who is our director, and he says, "Hey, I can't do the show." And he had personal reasons.
It's horrible.
It was horrible. He had personal reasons, but I get a phone call because I knew this, like the choir director, I knew her personally. She was like a friend of mine. And she calls me and she's like, "Hey, so he told me that he can't do it anymore. I wanted to ask you, you are in charge of blocking all of the Wormwood scenes. Is there any way that you could go on for Mr. Wormwood?" And the second that she said it, my stomach dropped and I went, "Let me think about it." And then I got home and I looked through the script and I went, "Fine, I'll do it." So I went on for Mr. Wormwood.
Wow.
There were a couple of like little flubs as we went. But I had to go on to, like, Mr. Wormwood is like, when I say he's an antagonist, like, if you've ever seen Matilda, the mean characters in this show are like getting inches away from a girl who's supposed to be playing like a 5-year-old girl. Like, you're getting inches away from her face screaming at her. Like, these are things that happen in this show. And so, like, I'm having to this, like...
And that's always been a secret passion of Dottie's.
Absolutely not. I don't like yelling. But there's this, like this sweet girl who's, like, playing Matilda. Also, the show had been, like, pushed back because they were doing renovations for the auditorium at Deschler.
Right.
So this is also already, like, we're on a new round of people. Like, the people who were supposed to be in the show before may or may not have come back. We had to change around a bunch of things. So, like, already it's stressful. And then I'm getting thrown into this 3 days before. I go on I start with a blonde wig. I started with a blonde wig.
Okay.
And I had on this like snazzy
I
had a snazzy little outfit on or whatever. And then I go out with my thick Cockney accent and play a car salesman who's scamming
And
people.
Please give our audience a sample of
I just don't know.
Cockney Dottie.
I just don't know if that's for the people, you know?
Right, does it sound like this?
Kinda, yeah.
Right like this.
It's
horrible!
It's horrible. My favorite line in the show was there's this line where he's walking out and he's talking to a guy on the phone or whatever that he's like gonna try to scam, and he goes, "Green Air? It was National Green Air Day, a celebration of all the wonderful green things in the world, like lettuce and snot."
Snort!
That's always one of my favorite lines. I think that line is funny. But anyways, it was very stressful. And this kid, his dad came in one day, and like he and I talked later because we did a community theater show together.
Right.
And he was like, I came in like 2 days before to pick up my son, and I saw you on stage with your script in your hand, and I was like, dang, this kid is so unprofessional. And then I found out that you got the role the literal day before that, and I was like, dang, this kid's really impressive. Because I pulled it off. They tried to offer me a Stanley for that.
Really?
Yeah, but I couldn't accept it because I wasn't below the age of 18. I wasn't a student.
Wow. And for those who don't know, Stanleys are a local award thing for theatrical productions.
Yeah.
And so you almost won an award.
Well, they tried to nominate me. I guess they didn't offer me the role, but they did try to nominate me for a Stanley for it.
Wow. And you weren't even supposed to be there.
Yeah, because it's a different division. I was too old for it.
Wow. I think that's something you'll find a lot of times with like art specifically, is that when something messes up, when something goes wrong, when you can't get that person, you find a way to get creative. You find a way to make that thing work. And you made that thing work. You got it together. And it worked. It went well. So, something that kind of started out as like horrible.
Yes.
Went to something beautiful, and you almost were nominated for an award for it. So.
Almost.
Wow. It sounded like you're a little mad about it.
No, no, it was funny.
Is that the closest you've
they
ever come?
They asked one of the people in charge. They were like, "Is she a senior?" And they were like,
You should have just lied.
She's a college student.
You should have just lied.
She's actively 20 years old."
You could have lied.
I could have, but that's not decent.
Wow. Dottie Tanner, decent human being. Who knew?
Thank you.
Who knew? I didn't.
Hey, Brandon, what you just said to me, that was horrible.
No, Dottie. You mean it was... Hold up, I gotta wait for this thing to reset. You mean it was horrible?
At least you acknowledged that it was not a nice thing to say.
Yeah, it was not. It was not. I can acknowledge when I'm being rude or mean or whatever.
Yeah. Brandon,
I'm not gonna stop.
Do you have a horror story? I feel like we're kind of all over the place today. That was really...
That was my horror story. I just took a sip of my Diet Coke. Doesn't even have my name on it. That's already a horror story. I don't know who Jessica is.
Jessica.
Shout out Jessica. If your name's Jessica, do we have female viewers? You? Your mom?
I have a cousin named Jessica, I think.
Oh. Shout out Jessica. Leave a comment if your name is Jessica. I love this. All right. That was me setting the Coke down. Yeah, let's get into it. Basically every film set I've ever been on in some capacity has had a failure of some kind. Something's not there. Someone left something behind. We've got, maybe we've got to go an hour to go get somebody or something like that, or just like an actor dropped out very last minute. And then it's always been terrible. I think I'm going to share one from high school just because it's so on my mind. I think it's the most like abrasive thing I've had happen to me was, it was on a film set. My high school did not have a film program. So everything I did was like separate from high school. I did it all on my own. And which is what happens a lot in the arts, is you end up doing this stuff completely on your own. And I talked to this guy for like months, and I was like, hey, like, do you want to act in this short film I'm doing? This is the character. This is the script, whatever. Do you want to do it? And he was like, yeah, I'm totally on board to do it. I've done some theater stuff before, never done a film, but it's not that different. And I was like, oh, I'm willing to work with you, whatever. And we worked, we talked, and it gets the day of the shoot. My two other actors show up. They're doing great. We're running through the shoot, all this kind of stuff. And then he doesn't show up. He's like, oh, I've got this going on. I can't be there. This is happening. I can't show up. And little high school Brandon was flipping out, was just like, this is terrible. So the way the shoot worked, the first half of the day we were filming, and then we broke for lunch. But we had a couple hours just because it was a short film, so we didn't need the whole time. And there were scenes at night. So we're breaking. And then while we're off for lunch and doing anything, I am completely rewriting the script to accommodate
the fact that somebody's not there.
Yes, and to write a different character in to make up for what's there. And it was horrible. I remember I was sleep deprived and I was just typing it all out, getting everything done. And that one's not, I haven't posted that one anywhere. It was just such all things considered, it went really well. But just with everything that happened, it was so terrible. I just didn't feel confident enough to put it out there.
Yeah.
And, a lot of our stories are going to come from cinematic arts and theater because that's where we're from.
Sure.
We'll share some stories here in a second about other artists from other parts of life, other arts, and their horror stories. But I don't know. I think I'm sure there are people who have like painted a whole picture and then been like, "This is terrible. Let me completely,
yeah, for sure.
Let me completely redo it." But like, I don't know. I think filming and theater specifically takes such a long time to do stuff.
Yeah.
With theater, there's months and months of practice.
Right.
With film, there's usually thousands of dollars of equipment that's worth set up, being set up. And I think a lot of people, if you're viewing the podcast, you're probably a struggling artist, or maybe you're an independent artist, or maybe you're just curious about the arts or like them or whatever. And you don't get into the arts at the high end. You don't start off on a Steven Spielberg movie. You don't start off in Lin-Manuel Miranda or something like that. You don't start working with those big names. You start off working in community theater, which is just a horror story all by itself.
It really, truly
community
is.
theater is like the bottom of the. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. I'm glad it exists, but at the same time, it's terrible. It's like
it's very for the amount of effort that goes into because it really is. It's a huge effort. It's really but the thing is, whenever you're doing community theater, these are unpaid actors. And generally speaking, people who are doing unpaid acting, it's because they really, really care about it. They really, really love it.
Yeah.
But also people who are going into professional acting, sometimes they won't take roles that are unpaid.
Right.
So you end up with, and also especially here in the Shoals, we have the Shoals Theater has gingerbread players.
Right.
Which is specifically for the younger kids.
Mm-hmm.
And with those shows, there's only so much you can ask out of an 8-year-old. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I think community theater, I agree, it's a beautiful thing. I've seen some incredible community theater shows. I've been in community theater before. I know a lot of people who are involved with it. It is genuinely such a also the Shoals has an influx. We have a lot of community theater.
We do.
A lot of community theater. Pretty much every high school in the area has a theater program. And then you have the Ritz, you have the Shoals Theater, you have Cypress Moon. There's another one I can't remember the name of, but you have just so many. And then even within Shoals, you have Zodiac players and gingerbread players, and there is a lot.
And if you're curious about acting, if you want to act, if you want to do anything like that, please don't let us dissuade you. I think the most important thing that we can say, is staying creative. Keep making stuff, keep being in those productions, because it really is. I think I've gotten some amazing experiences out of community theater, some amazing and some terrible. And I think that's what the arts is. It's ups and downs. And there's some downs that make you want to question, oh my God, get me out of this art form. I don't want to do it. But at the same time, I think there are those moments where you really feel in the flow of things, where everything is just boom, boom, boom. It's all clicking. And it makes you love it again. It makes you okay, I want to do this for a living,
Yeah. I think that it's definitely a sink or swim kind of part of the arts, theater and film even. It's very if you love it, you will love it despite the fact that it sucks sometimes. And if you can't love it despite the fact that it sucks sometimes, you probably don't love it as much as you think you do. Absolutely.
I remember being in 8th grade and looking up okay, what does a career in film look like? Because I think one thing that people don't talk, this is a horror story on its own, but I think growing up, I grew up in a very rural community, or pretty rural community, and no one ever came to my school and said you can be an actor, you can be a director.
Yeah.
No one ever said anything like that. They said, you can be a welder, you can work a blue collar trade, and there's no shame in that. I think those jobs are amazing.
1,000%.
If I didn't have a passion for this, I'd definitely probably be doing something like that. But that's just not where my passion called me, and I felt very dissuaded because I just, there's no way I'm going to make money doing the arts. And a lot of people will see like art degrees and stuff like that, and they really are just like, ew, like this is like you're not like the immediate question after I tell someone my degree is, okay, what are you going to do with that?
Yeah,
what are you going to do with it? And that's horrible.
I agree.
But no, it's like, I don't know. And also it's really strange because I think it's one of the only, people, when you ask people who they are, typically they're going to say like a title, like their job title. Oh, I'm a 28-year-old plumber, or I'm this, that, and the other.
Sure.
But I think arts is so, like, people who are in the arts tie themselves so much to like, I'm a writer-director.
Yeah.
And that's all I'll ever be. And so I've gotten in the habit of like, or I think I've gotten better at pushing myself away from that. Like acknowledging that like outside of the arts, I am a human being.
Yeah.
And I have wants and needs, because there are some people who, this is kind of a horror story, but like people will like put themselves through all kinds of pain and stuff to make art.
Yeah.
And Dottie and I were talking about this a little bit before the podcast started, but like, if you have to like be in an altered state or, you can't be sober and make your art.
Yeah.
Don't make it. Don't make your art. It's not worth it.
It's just so not worth the mental and physical like toll. And even especially like, I feel like even like the relational toll that it takes. I mean, whenever you're kind of dependent on something and then you're unable to show up for your family or your friends and stuff like that. But it's also, we have a friend of the pod, Reagan, a bud of ours.
Reagan Lawson.
He and I actually have been, we just got through writing a big script that we're planning on filming soon. And Reagan and I have had a ton of conversations where we've realized like we're just completely different when it comes to the ideas, when it comes to movies. Reagan is I think every story should end in a happy way. I think that everybody should have a happy ending. And I think that movies should tell stories that people are afraid to tell in any other way.
Do you mean horror stories?
Generally, my stories are kind of sad. Little less horror, a little more just kind of tragic.
And see, you said you were a decent person earlier.
I'm sorry. I can't believe I lied.
Yeah.
But it's just very like, it's for me personally, I find that I write very differently whenever we even talked about like the altered state of being like in a state of extreme sadness or like something like that. That being something where it's like, I feel like I have to like write the right story. But like I can write the same story in both states, and I won't lie to you, they're not the same. Like they don't end up being completely parallel to one another. It's definitely different whenever I'm like in a better headspace or like whatever.
Right.
But like, I don't know. I feel like it's one thing whenever you're writing it to get out of the bad headspace, and it's another thing when you're getting into the bad headspace to write it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know. I think, it's finding those moments, like you were saying, that make it worthwhile. Mm-hmm. And another story that pops into my head, I was on a professor's film set. Keep in mind, this is me first semester at UNA.
Yeah.
First semester at UNA, I'm getting into this on this film set, professor who's shooting their movie, and I was like, I have no idea the set etiquette rules or whatever, right? Every part of the arts has like a set part of rules to it. I mean, there's always like, oh, you can break the rules, you can do different things or whatever. Sure. But like sets particularly have rules. They want to keep people safe. They want to keep people in order. Mm-hmm. And I'm just sitting around not doing anything. I'm an actor. I'm cool. I'm fresh. I'm clean.
I'm an actor.
I'm cool as biscuits. And this like my professor is like shooting the scene. And if you don't know what a poor man's dolly is, let me just tell you. It's a wheelchair. It's a wheelchair. And I'm sitting in the wheelchair. We're out in the woods filming this scene. And, I'm just chilling, sitting in the wheelchair, doing a little roll or whatever. And then all of a sudden I hear the director call cut, my professor call cut. And then he looks at me and he's like, yeah, Brandon, I'm gonna need you up out of that chair. I'm gonna need you for this. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, like, bring the chair over here. You're in the scene and you're in the chair for the scene. And I'm like,
were you prepared? Like, did you know that this scene was about to happen?
no.
Okay.
No clue that the scene was going to happen. I had no idea. And there was nothing in the script or anything that mentioned to me, you're going to be in a wheelchair for this scene.
Right.
And so I'm just like completely thrown for a loop. And I thought like, this dude is punishing me. Like, I thought like, okay.
For sitting in the wheelchair?
For sitting in the poor man's dolly. He was like, you're sitting on the poor man's dolly. You're not, being active on the set, I guess, whatever. It's time to punish you. You're going to get at the top of this hill. We were at the top of a hill.
Yeah.
And I was on a wheelchair at the top of this hill. And he's like, you're going to get up there. And then he's like, now I want you to roll down the hill.
Oh.
In the wheelchair.
That feels a little unsafe.
I want you to roll down the hill in the wheelchair and just be your character, sing row, row, row your boat. And
I will say your character in this particular film is a little bit on the cuckoo side, right? He's meant to be a little
on the cuckoo side. Also, Dottie's nose did just like fully rub against the mic.
So sorry.
And then the next person that uses that mic, you know what's going to happen? It's going to be horrible. But no.
You should consider being nice to me.
Sorry. I will say I have like fully made out with this mic. Like,
yeah,
you're probably not seeing it. Every time you turn your head, I just fully lick this thing. Fully lick the mic.
Future Brandon, will you zoom in on that every time it happens?
Anyway, so I do this scene. I literally thought he was messing with me for the scene. I was like, okay, this guy is playing a joke on me. Whatever. Okay, I'm just gonna do the scene.
Yeah.
And so in the scene, I'm like, I'm Brandon Underwood, and da 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 da. Like I literally say my name in the scene, and he's like, yeah, that take was good, but like, don't say your name. And I was like, wait, so this is real going in the...
And it did go in the movie.
It did go in the movie. It's very... The way he shoots stuff is so unconventional. I think sometimes the arts especially just goes to these very unconventional places, and you wonder, like, what... Is this right? Like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Like, it's not like other jobs where I feel like there's a very laid out structure to where things are supposed to go. And so there are times where you just feel like completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I did. And then he was like, yeah, this is going in the thing. And then now, I'm not going to lie, people came up to me afterwards like, dude, you're my favorite character in the movie. Like, I love seeing you in this, like, awesome work or whatever. And I'm like, I hate it. It played at the George Lindsay Film Festival. Shout out to George Lindsay Film Festival. And watching it on screen, I had to, like, turn away. I could not... It's so hard.
Do you find that that's your experience, like, generally when you're watching your stuff, or like when you're watching like stuff that you're in, or was it like because of the negative or like the more confusing emotions that were tied to that specific story?
I think I'd love to hear what you have to say about that too, from your angle. I don't have a huge time. Let's be honest, I don't have a bad time watching myself. I mean, come on. Handsome, good looking, Okay. But great actor. No, I think sometimes I do, but a lot of times I know, like, I'm so adjusted to the character, or I know what I'm doing, that it's like, it's not really a problem for me. Because I've definitely done some crazy things on camera before, but like, specifically, I think in that context, it was because I was so new to what I was doing, and he shoots in such an unconventional way that I'm not certain, is this good? Like, do people like, is this really what people want, And so I think it just threw me for a loop for that reason. It was just like, this is so different. I don't know if I could watch it. I don't know if it's my thing.
Yeah.
But having... I think Gummo specifically that we talked about in our opening episode.
Yeah.
I think that's a movie that like does a completely unconventional thing, and it works.
Yeah,
it works on so many levels.
Sure.
So, while it may just be me thinking that, I'm sure maybe the audience and maybe people who have more of a taste for that kind of thing were really enjoying it. You know? So, yeah. What about you? Would you say you have a hard time? Would you say you have a horrible time watching yourself in stuff, or do you think What do you think?
I think that I tend to, so my like biggest background is obviously in theater. Like I'm a film major now, but like my biggest background is in theater. And I think that I generally prefer, if I'm going to be acting, I prefer theater because of the like live nature of it. I feel like whenever you're watching a play, watching a character, like watching an actor like mess up or like do something
It's
that's
human.
like, yeah, it's like that's what you're there for.
Right, absolutely.
Like that's 100% like what makes theater this like beautiful, like organic almost thing. But whenever I like watch a short or like a short film that I've like been in, I kind of tend to like sit there and critique it because of the rewatchable nature of it.
Right.
I tend to kind of sit there and be like, oh, I messed this up. Oh, I said that weird. Oh, I did this. Oh, if you'll, whatever. Like there's there's this video, which this isn't like a scripted anything, but there's this video from whenever I was a little kid of me just like being stupid and 12 or something or whatever. And I'm like filming
Right. At the same time. Stupid and 12.
Stupid and 12.
Wow.
And I'm filming an outfit of the day.
Name a film that. Somebody name their artwork Stupid and 12 and then send it to us at the Soda Pop Podcast.
Please do. But it's like me filming this like outfit of the day or whatever. And like every time I watch it, I literally have to pause it every 10 seconds because I'm cackling at how stupid I sound. And like, it's very like whenever I act, I don't act in like a ton of stuff anymore. It's just not, it's not the side of the camera I tend to like to be on.
Right.
But whenever I do, like, I will sit there and I will literally watch it and be like, oh, I look weird. Oh, I'm like sitting weird. Oh, I'm doing this weird. And like, I think that a lot of people really enjoy being able to like the rewatchable nature of it, being able to be like, oh my gosh, I can see myself acting.
Yeah.
But that's kind of exactly what we were saying about like, if you love it, you love it. And if you don't, you don't.
Right.
Like if you love acting, watching yourself act can be something that can help you like grow as an actor, help you be better, like all of these kinds of things. But for me personally, it just like, it literally just makes me sit there and like think about every single thing I could have done better.
Right.
Especially if it's something where it's like I messed up a line, I like kind of was weird about this. There's also even like things I've recorded for classes or whatever, and I can hear myself like in the background. Like
right.
There was in the creative media production class, which is like the base level class for the film department.
Right.
There's a video where you can hear me laughing in the background of it. And any person who's watched it, nobody has ever been like, is somebody laughing? But I hear it every time.
It bothers you.
And so it's like stuff like that kind of like, that's part of the reason why I really prefer being on the other side of things, on the directing side of things or whatever.
So you can laugh at them.
So that I can kind of, I think that I prefer watching performance. I love performing in theater. Like,
live.
That's that's fun for
having
me.
It in that moment and then it's done.
And then it's done forever, and if you didn't see it, you didn't see it.
But don't record her live performances.
It's illegal.
It's illegal.
It is literally illegal.
And it's horrible.
But yeah, that's my take, my 2 cents, if you will.
Talking about horrible things, I think a lot of times where that kind of stuff comes from, or at least in my experience it comes from, is, I'm even I think when I'm at an art gallery, when I'm looking at paintings, or when I'm tasting food, or when I'm looking at fashion, or whatever it is, I'm immediately comparing it to whatever else I know.
Sure.
Whatever creator or artwork I know of, I'm like, okay, this is like this is like that, this is like that. But I'm the type of person that hates that stuff at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, I hate when someone sees one of my films and they're like,
oh, so it's like,
XYZ. It's like this guy. And it's like, shut up.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill you. Yeah. Clip that. And I don't know. So it's so strange. And I think a lot of artists have this thing, like I was saying, people connect, who they are as an artist to who they are as a person so often. And it's like, oh, my only self-worth comes from what I make as an artist.
Yeah.
But plumbers don't do that. A plumber isn't like, oh, look how good I put these pipes together.
Right.
It's never like that. It's an occupation at the end of the day. It is a passion. It's a lifestyle. It's whatever you want it to be. But at the same time, like, you are a person. You can't compare yourself. Like, when you're seeing yourself act in something, it's like, oh, I'm comparing myself to Angelina Jolie, or I'm comparing myself to Meryl Streep or Brad Pitt or whoever. And it's like, these people have went through years and years and years and years of training and
Yeah.
these processes, and they're
For sure.
millionaires, and there's so many things going on behind the scenes that have put them to where they are. It's completely unfair to compare someone who is in high school acting for the first time
Right, exactly.
to someone like that. And it's
Yeah.
like, you know, you're chosen for whatever role, your art has called you for whatever reason. Go do it. Go do it, because no one is going to make the art that you can make.
Right.
You know, I heard a thing with like Neil deGrasse Tyson, and like probably not the best person to get quotes from, I guess, but like he said this thing. He's like, oh, scientists can always discover, you know, some, like if someone doesn't discover it, someone else is going to discover
Yeah.
it later on down the road. And that's true. But with art, like, you're the only person
Right.
who can make your art.
Right.
You're the only person who can make stuff the way you want to make it. And even if it's like a slight deviation, I know some people are like, oh, well, you know, a lot of people talk negatively about art. I guess it's a little horrible. But people like to say like, oh, well, my kid could draw that, or my kid could paint that. Like, oh, sorry. I had a burp there.
It's okay.
Ugh.
Diet Coke's getting to him.
The Diet Coke, it is worming its way into being horrible. And it's, but no, I think so. Just the self-worth thing is insane.
For sure.
And, you know, be you.
Yeah.
You're the only person that can be you. You're the only person that can make your art.
Yeah, for sure.
Just go out and do it. When we say the, you know, stay creative, keep making stuff thing, I mean, it really is true, because most importantly, whether you like your art or you hate it at the end of the day, I know there have been days where I have filmed a short film, and I'm sure it works the same way. If you painted something, if you've cooked something, and then you taste it for the first time, or you show it to people for the first time, it's like, what? Like, they don't get
Yeah.
it. Or you try it, and it's like, you're looking back at the footage, and you're like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
I've had days like that, and you feel horrible. But, you know, you want to keep going on, because one of my professors, the same one who put me in a wheelchair at the top of the thing, said you just have to accept the fact that you're going to make better stuff one day.
Yeah, for sure.
You're going to make something better. You're going to be a better artist. You're going to grow.
Yeah.
And if, you know, I know that may be stereotypical advice, but like, you know, if that's what Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt had to
Yeah.
do at one point, you
right.
know,
And I mean, I think
and then they
that
had to get
it's-
divorced.
Oh, and I think that there's
Don't
a
do that.
reason. I think that there's a reason that the quote, like, comparison is the thief of joy, like, rings so true for so many people, because, like, I mean,
And what is that?
Wait, what do you mean?
What's the thief of joy?
Comparison. That's what I
Oh,
said. Comparison
is the thief of joy. I thought like the thief of joy was like a character from
No.
something. I was like, who's the thief? Who's the
No,
thief of
comparison is the thief of joy.
It's a baller name. Somebody name a band that.
Thief of joy.
Thief of joy.
I mean, you're right. That would be fire. But yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely something. It's kind of like, I mean, like you talking about like food and stuff. I like whenever I like to cook. I'm like a decent cook, and there have been people in my life who have like tried my food and they're like, I could never make food like that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, I didn't just like wake up one day and go, I'm going to try to make food, and then I was good at it. Like, I made cornbread one time, and I read the recipe, and
Shout out cornbread.
Shout out cornbread. And I like followed the recipe, and it was like an old family recipe, and they put cornmeal on the recipe because it's cornbread. But what they neglected to put was that it was self-rising cornmeal.
Wow.
And so I made it, and I am not joking when I tell you it tasted and felt like a hockey puck. My dogs loved it. Delicious dog treat that my
Shout out
dogs
dogs.
loved. But like, I mean, if I kind of like got to that point and then I stopped, then like, where do you go from there? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's kind of, I mean, I think every single piece of art, the mistakes are what kind of makes it human. Like we were talking about, like if we even had a conversation earlier, we were talking about, you know, people get so uptight about people who say like or like in like sentences and stuff.
Absolutely.
People get really upset about stuff like that, and it just is such a human thing, you know, like
Yeah.
it really makes you human. I say the word like every like 3 words. It's I mean, and once I point it out, of course you hear it a lot more.
Yeah.
But it's kind of something that you don't notice it until you notice it.
And listen, if you don't like that, get off this podcast.
Yeah,
This
that would be-
podcast isn't for you. This podcast is for real people, real artists. Thank you, studio audience. Thank you.
Thank you,
I
studio
just kind of came up with that on the spot. I mean, it's not a big deal.
Right. That was really good. I liked it.
No, continue. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're
Sorry.
fine. You're fine. But it's just, I don't know. I think that any person, that's also, I think, a huge reason of part of the, LOL, let me get into this conversation really quick. I think that's a huge part of the reason why a lot of people really hate the fact that AI is taking over art.
Right.
Is because you're completely ripping literally the human element out of it.
The most beautiful part.
And genuinely like looking at pieces of art and knowing there's an artist who, I want to say it's Thomas Kincaid, that he put his wife's initials in every single painting he ever made.
Wow.
Because I mean, he just loved her so much. And so like things like that kind of really make art. You think about even Van Gogh's Starry Night being like the
which that's a prime example of an artist who wasn't accepted in his time. People hate, and there's also like Beethoven and people like that who were not nearly as famous until they died.
Right.
Like, you know, even to, you know, you can draw a modern comparison. So you have Beethoven and Van Gogh. You've also got Young Dolph. Young Dolph from the modern era was rejected by so many people.
Sure.
And then he dies, and now it's on like every white 13-year-old's Instagram.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and it's just sad to see that like that kind of stuff happens, but like
100%. I saw a thing talking about Andy Warhol, which is like, you know, like the guy,
the artist.
He did pop art, and he was rejected by, I think it was like the Museum of Modern Art or something like that. He was rejected by them, and it was like he wasn't trying to sell his paintings, he was trying to give them his paintings for free,
which is crazy.
And they said no, they didn't like them. But now it's, I mean, how many times have you seen the like 4 images of some random
Absolutely.
like a Coke can, Marilyn Monroe, some famous something that's like repeated 4 times, and that's a super common and
that's what I was looking
popular.
up. I was looking for artists because there have been so many. I mean, it mentioned Beyonce, it mentioned Van Gogh, you know, it mentioned, I mean, and all of these people have such a hard time, you know, making into the thing. It's just ridiculous to kind of see that now, because you think like, oh, these people are brilliant. Like even their early work is brilliant, but it's, you know, it is what it is, and it takes time. And at the end of the day, you are not creating art to be noticed. You are not creating
100%.
art for everyone else. You are making that movie. You're making that painting. You're cooking that thing.
Right.
You're making that dress for yourself, for your family. If they listen, it doesn't matter if they like it, because the hood's gonna love it. As they say, as J-Rock and Kendrick Lamar said, it doesn't matter because the hood's gonna love it.
Yeah, I mean,
know?
I definitely think that there's something to be said for people who make the art that they want to see.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's just, if you're constantly looking for what the especially in the modern era, where
this is a deep episode.
It really is. It
we
really
have
is.
gone so deep down this rabbit hole, so deep on this topic,
and that's okay.
Yeah.
But especially in the modern era where things are so fast paced and like moving so quickly, you can't really even like rely on what's trending, because by the time you get it out, it may or may not be trending anymore.
Right, true.
You know. So I think that that's part of the reason why it's so important to stick to what you want to do, what you like, and like going back to the original thing we were talking about, which is just like, if you love it, you will find a way to love it. Like,
Absolutely.
No matter what, you will find a way to love it.
A little advice from my dad. My dad found this thing that said like Danny DeVito had been rejected so many times by so many different things because, you know, he's not like the stereotypical actor that you would think of as like a popular actor or whatever. And he was rejected hundreds of times for hundreds of roles.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure every actor in LA has had that experience of being rejected so often, but like, he didn't give up, and he kept going because that was his passion. That's what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any shame in changing your idea or going to something different.
Yeah.
But like, you know, if art is a part of who you are, if it is your lifestyle, you know, continue down that road. If it's important to you, be you.
Yeah.
Keep making what you make, because only you can make it.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's a beautiful thing. And we're getting close to time here. I love this conversation. Beautiful conversation.
We got deep.
Deep episode.
For no reason.
It really went from us messing up on the SD card, this horrible situation. We went from horror stories to beautiful life lessons.
Beautiful.
I've learned something today. I've gained a little knowledge. I think I think
genuinely I do. And I also think that this is just a good thing that like every artist needs to hear sometimes. Like
Absolutely.
sometimes you
Keep
really
going.
just
You're a beautiful person. We love our audience.
We love you.
All 9 of our viewers are beautiful people.
Hey.
I've met them all.
Legs, you guys.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Love you guys. And I think that's all we need to.
Yeah.
We probably need to wrap it up now.
Yeah.
I guess so. Really enjoyed this. Remember, we're going to shout out all of our socials. We're Soda Pop, the Soda Pop Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, Apple Podcasts,
Yes.
Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Please listen to us. Please drop us a like or a comment or a follow or subscribe. Whatever you feel as you do. We love it. We love it. It benefits us so much. We're 2 college students here at a university, filming for our university. And we love when we get support. We love hearing from you guys.
Yes.
Because it's awesome to have a community of artists. And if you want to send anything to any of our social medias. Chances are we'll probably see it, look at it, give her a little gander.
Yes.
Maybe we'll talk about it on the show.
Maybe.
Who knows? But yeah, thank you all for watching today. As always, keep making stuff.
And stay creative.
Absolutely.
We did it in the wrong order.
Oh, really? You got to do it first.
Stay creative. Keep making stuff. Is
and
it not?
No, I thought it was the other way.
I don't know.
Let's run that back.
Okay.
That was horrible. As always,
Stay creative.
and keep making stuff.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Awesome music and walk off.